Hi there, thanks for checking out our repair channel. This is going to be just a testing video and an overview of this unit, how it works and such. This is a Stafix M6. This is an old style unit. This is a 6 output joule unit that Stafix used to make. They no longer make this model. They came out with the X6 or if you look at the SpeedRite version, it's a SpeedRite 6000. Those are the newer style units, but this unit is the old school Stafix, and I was just seeing that there was a date code on here, and I don't see one. I don't see a date on the thing, so. But I have to say it's probably mid 2000s, like late 90s to early 2000s, maybe like a 2005 or 6, at the latest. I mean, they didn't stop making this one back then or so. In about 2008, 9, 10 or so, they came out with the 6000s, I think, or the X6 units. But this is a good old unit. This is a really reliable unit. What you usually, if you fix one of these things, they usually run for a long time. They're a different setup on the inside, the way that they do the electronics compared to the newer Stafix things that are in this power range. The newer ones have all this surface mount stuff and cheapo parts on there. Probably cheap to manufacture because you have a robot put all that stuff on for them. Where a lot of this stuff in here, it's got some surface mount. Sure, some of it gets put on by a machine and goes through like a wave soldering tub of solder to solder everything on. But there are a lot of through-hole, big old school components on the thing. It's a good unit, not a bad unit at all. So if you got one of these old Stafix units, whether it's an M6 or a they made an M12, I think, and an M18, M20R, M36. They made a lot of units like this back in this time frame. It's a good old school Stafix unit. So if you got one of the old ones and it's not working right, we'll be happy to take a look at it for you. We give free quotes, and we put an 18-month repair warranty. We stress test everything that we work on. We put them under loads and let them run for a couple days or so with the pretty heavy, not a super heavy load, but a pretty decent one, something that will cause it to work hard. And if there's something intermittent that's not quite working right, that load will cause it to fail. And that has happened where we think we've got one going, and then all of a sudden, after a couple of days, you walk back out in the shop where we keep these where we keep the units that are running on the side with stress test on them. I've come in a few times where one stopped working, or is definitely brought way down lower than what it should, and then I'll take it back apart, see what happened. There's actually more wrong with it than what we originally thought, and so that's why we always stress test everything to make sure that what we're doing repair-wise is what's actually wrong with it. So I kind of treat units that we work on as our own, because I don't want to fix something. I don't like taking your car to a mechanic. You don't want to take your car off and them do a half-assed job, and you take it back and it's working somewhat but not working quite right, and like, well, it's better, but it's still not, you didn't fix what I was trying to get fixed. So then you got to bring it back, and have the guy go over it again. So that's why I treat things as if they were my own, because I don't want something that's be half done right and not work quite right, or not last very long. I want something that's going to, fix it right and last a while, unless lightning gets it, or you get some kind of outside factor that messes a unit up of some sort, whatever the reason might be. So typically once I fix a unit, long as something doesn't happen to it that shouldn't happen to it, things usually run a good 10 years or more. This guy had his, I think, 10 or 15 years, I think it said, and this is like the second time in the 10 or the 15 years or whatever it was that he's had it that it's actually been worked on. The first time was from lightning. Whoever fixed it. And when we got it, it wasn't really lightning. It was just age, I think, and stress, maybe what got this one. But luckily we fixed it and got it going again. So check out our website, fencerfixer.com is our site. It's Fencer and Fixer, spelled F as in Frank. There'll be a link in the description that you can click on and go right there to it. and find out more about us. But we work on all brands, all ages of these fence boxes. We get a lot of units in. Worked on a handful of M6s, and I think there's I would say out of the, I don't know, the 15 or so, or 10 to 15 of these that we've had in for repair the last 3 or 4 years, or 5 years or so that I can remember at. We've probably had, probably 90% were fixed. There's probably a couple of them here and there that we are too far gone, and the guy didn't want to put much money into it because he was downsizing, or he had already bought a new one and whatever. So there's a couple times that we've had units that come in that, you know, they just didn't want to fix it for whatever reason. So, which is no big deal. You know, we just put it on the parts shelf, boneyard shelf, and there it sits. For parts unit or just a conversation piece or whatever. You never know if you need a spare case. You know, I can use this case off of one of these things. So I try to use what I can to save other people money. So if I got a unit that's not worth fixing and the guy doesn't want it back, we'll keep it for a spare parts unit or something like that. So nothing really goes to waste, because you never know when you're going to need that one little dinky part. And this unit might have it, so if this one wasn't fixed, we would have, you know, stole the knob off the unit, stole the power cord off the unit, you know, whatever. So, but anyways, we'll get in this unit. We'll tell you a little bit about it. Like I said, it's a 6 output joule unit. Stored joules, probably 10, 12 joules stored, maybe somewhere in that range, 8 to 12, 8 to 10. And it's got a row of lights on here. The first one is your is a red light. And I believe it goes all the way up into here somewhere in green lights. This is kind of your fence performance gauge. The last light or two, if they come on and it's acting kind of funny, this is usually because there's some kind of problem. It's like an error code type of thing, is what these last segment or two will flash red, yellow. They'll do some weird things on here depending on what kind of problem it's having. And a lot of those error codes, I don't know what they mean. This means something wrong with it. And you can try to fix it by, and then most of the time this doesn't solve it, but you can unhook the fence and ground, you unplug it for about a minute or two, let it settle itself down, plug it back in, and cross your fingers that it works, and hopefully resets itself. And about 95% of the time it doesn't. It's still not working right. So then you gotta, you know, send it to us, let us work on it, see what's causing the trouble on it, and you know, get you fixed up. But all right, we'll get into this thing. I'll quit blabbering. You can watch what this unit does. So there you go. See all the little lights flashing. It looks like it goes up to there. Alright. And we'll just put a fence tester on here to start. Actually, I'm going to turn off for just a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you peak voltage. And then I've got a couple loads around here that I'll put on here. This is a fence performance gauge, so depending on the performance of your fence and how clean or messed up it is with grass and other shorts and stuff, it may go all the way to the top. Looks like, say, we're hitting about 8,000 volts out of it. This load that I'm going to put on is a 500 ohm load, standard load that a lot of manufacturers use. Not a real heavy load, but it's heavy enough, I guess. So I'm going to put it across fence and ground. Closer you get to 0 ohms between fence and ground, because 0 ohms is a dead short. So the closer you get to 0 ohms, the worse of a short. So 500 is, you know, not real close, but it's close enough. So we're hitting 5.5. You can see the green lights aren't quite going up all the way. It's about halfway up. So as soon as you fix your problem, of course, it goes right back up. So that's a nice thing to know when walking by it. A lot of brands have some sort of light feature on them. Gallagher's got a few units that have lights on them like this. The Speed Rights and the Stafix stuff have it. The big Parmac Rangemaster's got 3 lights: red, yellow, green. Green, yellow, red from top to bottom. And then some of those Parmacs have the digital meters on there that tell you, you know, voltage on it. And the lower the voltage is, the worse short you got. So now I'm going to put a heavier load. This is a 150 ohms, so it's even closer to 0. So this is going to dog it down even more. So I'm going to go to ground, the fence. You see it's barely in the green. Just outside of the red, we're getting almost 3,000 volts. So This is usually the load that I will stick on a unit. If not 150 ohm, maybe like a 250, 300 ohm load. Something that's not quite as heavy as this, because this is pretty heavy. I mean, you can go heavier. We can go 50, 60 ohms. We got a couple of those loads, but that will drag a unit down to near nothing. This is a great big monster unit. So, but luckily we got this unit going again for the customer. So like I was saying, you can go to our website, fencerfixer.com. It's down in the description area. You can click on it or just type it in, electric fencer repair, or on Google or something like that. You probably find us. But so if you got one of these old M6 units, we'd be happy to look at it. We'll give you a free quote and an 18-month warranty on everything that we work on. Lightning damage is included. So until we do another video of how to work on something, how to test something, or the features of the units, we'll see you guys later.